Hi guys, it's Craig again, December 17 and the 17th activity. And I think it's going to be a hall sensor, I think it's called for this particular activity. Don't know anything about it. I haven't read ahead, so I'll learn at the same time as you. So let's get into it. Okay, so we need to get bag number 17, which I have found here for today's activity. Let's take a little look at what is inside. I think I just said hall sensor a moment ago. The actual activity says hall effect sensor, so I still don't really know what that means. So let's see. Okay, so this is something, isn't it? I guess this is a hall effect sensor. We've got some little prongs here. We've also got, I mean, this looks very much like our temperature sensor that we had in terms of the curved side and the flat side and the three prongs. So I wonder if it's a mix between a temperature sensor and, I don't know, something else. Some little bits there. Right, let's find out. Oops. Okay. So connect the hall effect sensor to pin 10. Right, let's do that. So our S here, connect this up to digital pin 10. There we go. Off to a good start. Connect, okay, so we're going to connect the hall effect sensor to the 5-volt now. You get the right cord to hook up there. Here to the 5-volt over here. Good. Now the hall effect sensor to the ground. So we've always got a pin, a 5-volt, and then we ground it. Pin, 5-volt, ground. I've got to remember that sequence. And our ground, we're just going to find over here. Okay, we are all on. We've got our LEDs all illuminated here. Got our little hall effect sensor here. We're going to insert an LED into the breadboard with the cathode short leg on the left-hand side as always. And a 220 ohm resistor. Here's one I used earlier. It's going to go in connection to the anode, the long leg here. Connect, connect. And we're going to connect the LED to the ground. Again, this is all becoming very standard fare now in terms of what we need to connect up. Cathode out to the ground, on the analog side. Do that. There we go. And then we're going to go from this side of the resistor to pin number 13. There we go. From here to digital pin 13. Oh, is that right? Yeah, just there. Okay, we have LED light. Once it hits that pin, it starts a shining. Okay, now let's grab our code. Okay, so pretty minimal code. I'll pop it into Arduino here. Let's have a little read of it. Okay, so LED is connected to digital pin 13. As we know, we just hooked that up there. The sensor is connected to number 10 and numeric variable. Value, numeric variable. Okay, come back to that. Okay, the setup. So the LED is giving us our output. So it's going to project the information out to the LED to turn it on, and the sensor here is going to take our input. And here's the sort of active part of our code value. So when the sensor is read, if it gets a high value, when a magnetic field is detected, oh, okay, it'll turn the LED on. Oh, so this is going to pick up a magnetic response. So when it receives a magnetic response, it's going to turn on, and otherwise it's going to be off. Now, I don't know if I've got a magnet here in the shed. I certainly do on the fridge. So what if I go and get a magnet, and then I'll come straight back. Okay, magnets. Do you know where I can find a magnet? Friedrich Nietzsche? Ooh, yeah. Das ist ein James Joyce. Hello. So these guys have magnets in their backs. I think we might try it out. Nietzsche, do you want to back into the sensor first? Yeah. Ooh. I don't think that's quite working. Nietzsche, do you need to do anything particular? No? What about if James Joyce tries? Okay, Mr. Ulysses, let's see what you've got in terms of your magnet. Aha! There you go, James. So your magnetic response there at the back of your head turned it on, and then I think when you moved away it went off. Let's try again. Back into it there. On, move away. Your magnetic aura remains, James. What if you tap it again? And it goes off. Well, that's great. What about Nietzsche? You give it another go with the back of your head, Nietzsche. Right. There you go. That's your will to power. And back in again. Human, all too human. Hey, that's great. So it works. It works with these giants of literature and philosophy, and it would work with other magnets, I'm sure, as well. So we've got our LED that turns on in response to the magnet again turns it off. And if it were a more magnet and not a back of hairy head magnet, it might work even quicker. But that's great. Mission accomplished. Well, that's great. From James and Fred and myself, thank you very much for watching. Lots of fun. I'm getting better with the code. So thank you, Peter, and thank you others who are encouraging me to read the code a bit more. It's going well. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for our December 18 activity. See you then.